Welcome to Productivity for Solopreneurs, where each Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central Time, I share insights to getting things done. And again, welcome. So today is live number 111, so 111. And the topic is how to exercise your no muscle. Let me know you're here by saying hi in the comments. And if there's something that you want to say no about, you don't have to share what it is, just share, yep, working on exercising that no muscle. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Evie Burke, and I help women entrepreneurs who want to take their productivity to a new level. So they're overwhelmed and they're exhausted by everything that they want to accomplish in their business, but they're not interested or able to work 9 to 12-hour days. They want to be fully present in everything they do, both in their business and in their lives, and they want to have healthy boundaries. I help them create impactful solutions that focus on getting their high priority areas completed so they can grow their business with confidence and become the high achievers that they want to be. So hi to Mary. I see that she joined and said hi in the comments, literally. So last week we talked about boundaries and how to set them and just a different way to look at it. And one of the skills that can really help you with setting nice boundaries and keeping your boundaries and honoring them and all that good stuff is the ability to clearly say no. So saying no is a muscle, right? It's like any other muscle, it needs to be exercised to be strong. And as business people, it is really in our best interests and in the interest of the people around us if we can say no. So no is also a gift. And yes, it's a gift for yourself because you are honoring your boundaries and what you want to be doing, but it's also a gift for the other person. And I want to illustrate this point by kind of flipping it around a little bit and asking you to think about a time in your business where somebody seemed interested in your service or your product, and maybe you shared a little bit more with them, and they said, not right now, or maybe later. What did you do? What did you do? You reached out to them again, right? And you asked again, maybe a couple weeks, a month, 3 months, whatever the time frame was. You reached out later just to kind of get a feel, is this a better time? Just to get that gauge, right? But if they really wanted to say no, but they were maybe trying to be nice or afraid to say no for whatever reason, then you reaching out again is wasting everyone's time, right? But you're not really wasting the time. They wasted everyone's time by not being very clear about what it was that they weren't interested in. So if they would have just said no right away, then you could have said, okay, great. And you could have moved on and spent your time following up with other people. But because they weren't clear with their no, you kept following up with them when they weren't interested. And then there's a lot of energy that goes into that interaction on behalf of both people, right? Because that no wasn't clear. So think about that the next time somebody offers you something or asks if you're interested in more information, or if you want to buy something, or even if it's an opportunity to volunteer or do anything. If you can be very clear with your no, you save everybody a whole lot of time. But if you say not right now or maybe later when you don't actually mean it, then there's a lot more time that goes into that interaction. Now, I do want to say that it's super important to be okay with saying not right now and maybe later when it's true. Right? Because I know that there have been opportunities that have popped up, whether it was to work with somebody in a program that they were offering or to volunteer on a position where I was interested, but the timing honestly was not right. And so when I said not right now or maybe later, it was really true. And in those cases, I can think of one in particular where this person has asked me like 2 or 3 times about volunteering on a committee. And I have said no, but I haven't said no. I've said now's not the right time. And I fully expect and look forward to them asking me again when the timing's right on their committee to bring in new members to see if the timing lines up for us. And if it doesn't, I will say not right now again. And if it does, then I will say yes. Either way, neither of us are wasting time there because I am genuinely interested. It's just the timing isn't right for whatever reason. And that's fine. So here's a very quick guide to saying no. So number 1, be brief. You don't need to explain everything that went into making your decision. You can say, that doesn't work with my schedule. That's not right for me. Or saying no can be as simple as no, right? Step number 2, be honest. Don't make something up to get out of something. You know, you're both going to feel better about it later if you are just honest and just say it doesn't work for you, or, you know, whatever the reason is. And, you know, also, again, remember, you don't have to share a reason. No is a complete sentence. And if you're not making things up, it makes keeping track of things a lot easier, because no one wants to keep track of fibs, right? Even little white lies like that. Step 3, say no. Yes, I'm saying it again. Say no. And I know it seems so straightforward, but I also know sometimes when we're in the situation where we have to tell someone no, we can really get caught up in our heads about, am I going to offend them? Am I going to hurt their feelings? Is this thing or all these things going to happen? And you don't need to worry about that. They are responsible for their reaction. You are not responsible for their reaction. Don't be rude about it, but just say no. Again, it's a complete sentence. And keep in mind that when you say things like, I think that this isn't a good fit for me, or not right now, or I'm not sure about this at this time, that's going to make the other person think that maybe you're going to be interested later, or you're going to change your mind later. So if that's not the case, again, be very clear and say no. And then step number 4 is repeat as often as necessary. So if you have clearly said no and somebody comes back and asks again, say no again, right? It's perfectly acceptable. So let me look at the comments here, because I see I got some comments. So I got Jeff, who said great topic. Thank you, Jeff. And Mary, yes, it is what you're thinking of. So behind the scenes, behind baseball things, Mary's the one that's asked me a couple of times to be on a committee, and I've told her not right now. And she does. She comes back every year or two and asks again when the timing's right for that committee. And I'm glad, honestly, because I tell her, you know, yes, ask me again, and she does. Yes, and Mary points out that sometimes you don't need to say no. For instance, you don't need to respond to every Facebook event invite you receive. Yes, that is absolutely correct. So, you know, when you find yourself with those Facebook invitations, say yes to the ones that you will honestly attend. But if you don't want to attend something, you don't have to say no to it. I know actually there was a group that I was in where the leader of the Facebook group would put out events and invite everybody to them. And I would always say no, because I didn't want those responses or the reminders popping up in my feed. And after about a month or so of me saying no to everything, I got this little message, you know, hey, you know, you don't have to respond to the Facebook events that you're not going to. Because for her, she didn't want the no's showing up on the event, because for whatever reason, she liked it better if people only responded going versus not going. And Mary is a better person to ask about what the etiquette is for that. Mary's the social media person. But that was her preference. And I didn't know that, so I just, okay, I'll stop responding. But, you know, it depends, right? So anyway, make sure you're saying no when you mean it. Don't be afraid to say no. It is a really important muscle, a really important skill to have when you are a business person. And it's also important when you receive those no's that you don't take it personally, because you don't need to take it personally. Somebody saying that they are not interested in your product or service is not an indication of your worth. It's just an indication that what you are offering at this time is not a good fit for that person. And that's perfectly fine, right? Not everybody is our people, right? We're not meant to work with everybody. If we were, we would be very stressed out, and a lot of people would be very unhappy because we wouldn't have the bandwidth. However, when we can find those people that we are meant to work with, when we do get those yeses, those are super important too. All right, so if setting up those boundaries, if being able to say no is something that you feel is impacting you and your business right now, and you want to have a conversation about how to change that in your business, then reach out to me and let's set up a time to talk. And the easiest way to do that is to apply for coaching on my website, on the Work With Me page, and I will include a link to that in the description. So I look forward to hearing from you, and until next week, much love. Goodbye, everybody.